"What the hell are you doing in my safe with my daughter?" Richard bellowed, bursting through the basement door of his New York mansion. The alarm wailed as he spotted Maria, the nanny, locked inside the panic room, cradling little Lily tightly, whispering soothing words to calm the child's sobs. Maria's eyes snapped open. "Sir, please!" He cut her off, snatching Lily away. "Kidnapper! Thief!" He hurled his car keys at her face, drawing blood, then dialed 911. "Intruder! Send units now!" Maria rose with dignity, wiping her lip. "You'll regret not listening." Cops hauled her out, leaving her bag behind. Sirens pierced the air like knives. Richard's heart pounded, feet slamming down the marble stairs, sweat beaded on his forehead. Intruder. Has to be. Lily. Where's Lily? He gripped the railing, visions of worst-case scenarios flashing. Kidnapping, theft, his empire crumbling in one night. The basement door loomed. He kicked it. Boom. Splintering wood. Dim emergency lights flickered. There in the panic room's glow, Maria crouched. Her arms wrapped tight around Lily, the 5-year-old's face buried in her chest, tiny fists clutching Maria's shirt. Maria rocked gently, humming a soft Polish lullaby, her voice steady amid the chaos. Lily's sobs muffled into whimpers, her body relaxing against the nanny's warmth. Richard froze, breath ragged. "What is this?" His eyes narrowed on Maria's locked door mechanism, the safe's steel walls enclosing them like a fortress. She looked up, her dark eyes wide but calm, strands of hair escaping her bun. No panic in her posture, just protection. Lily peeked out, tear-streaked cheeks flushing. "Daddy?" she whispered, reaching one hand toward him. But Richard's mind raced ahead. "Locked in with my daughter. Alone. What game is this?" Fury boiled up, veins bulging in his neck. He lunged forward, fist banging the reinforced glass. "Open this door! Now!" Maria's hand trembled slightly as she adjusted Lily's position, shielding the girl's ears from the alarm's wail. She mouthed something, inaudible over the noise, but her expression screamed urgency. Not guilt, something else. Desperation? No time for that, Richard thought, slamming his palm again. The alarm looped endlessly, drilling into his skull. He yanked out his phone, fingers flying across the screen to override the lock code. Beep. Click. The door hissed open. Cool air rushed out, carrying the scent of Lily's strawberry shampoo mixed with Maria's faint lavender soap. Maria stood slowly, still cradling the child, her free hand raised in a placating gesture. Lily clung tighter, burying her face again. Richard's jaw clenched. "She's got my kid, in my safe, acting like she's the hero?" He stepped inside, the space closing in, monitors blinking, emergency supplies stacked neatly. His voice dropped to a growl. "Hand her over, slowly." Maria hesitated, her lips parting as if to speak, but the alarm drowned her. She shifted Lily gently into a more secure hold, her arms like iron bands of protection. Richard's pulse thundered. This ends now. He reached out, fingers brushing Lily's arm. The girl's eyes met his, wide, trusting, but edged with fear from the noise. Maria's gaze locked on Richard's, pleading silently. "Please listen," it seemed to say, but rage clouded his vision. He snatched Lily, pulling her free. She wailed anew, arms flailing. Maria's hands fell empty, her shoulders slumping just a fraction before she straightened, chin up. Richard backed out, Lily squirming in his grip. "Stay right there," he barked at Maria, phone already in his ear. The alarm finally cut off. Blessed silence. But the echo rang in his ears. "Police. I need them now." Maria stepped forward, mouth opening again. "Sir!" He whirled. "Don't move!" His free hand balled into a fist. Lily's cries escalated, piercing. Why is she so upset? A flicker of doubt hit him, but he shoved it down. No. She's the intruder here. Maria's face hardened, not with anger, but resolve. She crossed her arms over her chest, where moments ago Lily had found comfort. Her breathing steadied, eyes never leaving the child. She's safe now, Maria thought, even as dread knotted her stomach. But he doesn't know the real danger. Richard paced the basement floor, phone pressed hard. Yes, 911, intrusion at Fifth Avenue Estate. Suspect in the basement with my daughter. Lily kicked, screaming, Maria! Maria! He hushed her roughly, mind spinning. How did she get the code? What was she after? The safe's contents, documents, cash, or worse? Maria watched, her nails digging into her palms. Blood welled up, but she didn't flinch. He'll see. Eventually. The basement lights hummed overhead, casting long shadows. Sirens wailed in the distance. Real ones now, approaching fast. Richard shot her a glare, triumph mixing with unease. Got her. But Lily's tears soaked his shirt, her small body heaving. Why won't she stop? He bounced her awkwardly, unused to this. Maria's lullaby echoed in his head, mocking. Footsteps thundered above, security guards bursting in. Mr. Harrington, we got the alert. Richard thrust Lily at one. Take her upstairs, safe. The guard nodded, carrying the wailing child away. Richard turned back to Maria, eyes like steel. You're done here. Maria didn't budge, her stance unyielding. For Lily, she thought, always for her. The guards flanked her, waiting for his nod. Richard's chest heaved. End this. He grabbed her arm, rough, unyielding. Out, now! Maria winced but walked, head high. The basement stairs loomed, each step echoing like a verdict. Outside, cop cars screeched to a halt, lights flashing, red and blue across the manicured lawn. Richard followed, shoving her toward them. Arrest her, kidnapping attempt. Maria's eyes met his one last time, full of unspoken truth. You'll learn. But words failed as handcuffs clicked. The night air chilled, but Richard felt nothing but fire. My house, my rules. Lily's distant cries filtered down from the upper floors, a nagging pull at his gut. He ignored it, watching Maria loaded into the cruiser. Doors slammed, engines revved, gone. But the emptiness hit like a wave. The mansion loomed silent now, too big, too hollow. Richard rubbed his temples, a headache blooming. What just happened? He glanced at the basement door, ajar. Something glinted inside. Maria's abandoned bag. Later, he thought. Deal with it later. For now, victory tasted bitter. Lily's sobs upstairs grew louder. He climbed the stairs, each one heavier than the last. She'll calm down. But deep down, doubt seeded. What if... No. He shook it off. Impossible. The door to Lily's room creaked open. She huddled on the bed, face red, refusing the guard's awkward pats. Maria, she whimpered. Richard scooped her up. It's okay, baby. Daddy's here. But her eyes searched past him, lost. His arms felt wrong, too stiff, too cold. Maria's warmth lingered in memory. Damn it. He rocked her, mimicking the hum he'd heard. Off key. Lily pushed away. Hours ticked. Sleep evaded him. The bag downstairs called like a siren. Just junk. But curiosity gnawed. Dawn broke, gray light filtering through curtains. Richard descended again, bag in hand. Zipper rasped open. Papers, photos. A letter, yellowed, edges frayed. His wife's handwriting. Impossible. He unfolded it, heart skipping. Words jumped. Maria, my sister. Protect Lily if I'm gone. Danger from inside. The room spun. Sister? Richard's knees buckled. He gripped the table, knuckles white. What have I done? Flashback hit, Maria's eyes pleading. Her words, you'll regret. Bile rose. Blinded. Fool. He slammed the letter down, fist pounding wood. Splinter. Pain shot up his arm, but it paled against the guilt crashing in. Call the police. Fix this. The phone shook in his hand. Dial tone buzzed. But first, breathe. She's innocent. More than that, family. Lily's laughter echoed from memory under Maria's care. I destroyed it. Rage turned inward. The mirror on the wall reflected a broken man. Eyes hollow, jaw set. Fix it. Now! He bolted upstairs, keys jangling. The car roared to life. Tires screeched out the driveway. Find her. Beg. The city blurred past. Immigrant neighborhood. Cramped buildings. Bustling streets. Wrong turn. Curse. Backtrack. Door after door slammed in his face. No Maria here. Finally, a volunteer center, peering through the window. Maria bandaging a kid's knee, smiles soft despite bruises on her cheek. From his keys. There. Heart hammered. He pushed the door open. Richard's voice exploded like thunder, shattering the basement's tense hush. What the hell are you doing in here? With my daughter? He charged forward, shoulders squared, face twisted in raw fury. His eyes locked on Maria, her arms still wrapped protectively around Lily, the child's whimpers cutting through the air like shards of glass. Locked in my safe, with my kid. This is no accident. Veins popped on his forehead, sweat trickling down his temple as he towered over her. Maria's grip tightened instinctively on Lily, her body shifting to shield the girl from his advance. "Mr. Harrington, please," she started, voice steady but edged with urgency, her accent thickening under stress. Lily squirmed, tiny hands clutching Maria's collar, eyes darting between them in confusion. He cut her off with a savage roar. "Shut up, you're a thief, breaking into my safe, kidnapping my child." His finger jabbed accusingly at the steel walls, the monitors flickering with security feeds. All that cash, documents, gone? And Lily? God, what if she'd hurt her? Rage boiled over, his chest heaving like a bellows. He snatched at Lily again, yanking her free with one swift pull. The girl yelped, arms flailing as she was torn from Maria's embrace. Maria staggered back a step, empty arms hanging limp for a split second before she straightened, chin lifting defiantly. Her dark eyes flashed, not with fear, but with a quiet fire. He doesn't know. Can't see the real threat. She reached out tentatively. "Sir, it's not—" "Save it!" Richard snarled, cradling Lily awkwardly against his shoulder. The child kicked and wailed, her cries echoing off the concrete like accusations. He fumbled in his pocket, fingers closing around his car keys. A heavy fob with the Mercedes emblem glinting under the lights. Without thinking, fury guiding his hand, he hurled them straight at Maria's face. They whipped through the air, striking her cheek with a sharp crack. Blood bloomed instantly, a thin trickle running down her jaw. Maria flinched, hand flying to the wound, but she didn't cry out. Her fingers came away red, sticky, but she wiped them on her skirt with deliberate calm. Pain throbbed hot, but she bit it down, nails digging into her palm instead. For Lily. Stay strong. The keys clattered to the floor, skidding across the cold tile like discarded evidence. Richard didn't blink, his breath coming in hot bursts. That'll teach her. No one touches my family. Lily's sobs intensified, her small body rigid in his arms, face buried in his shirt. He bounced her roughly, trying to soothe, but his touch was all edges. No gentleness, no rhythm. "Quiet, baby. Daddy's got you." But her eyes searched the room, locking on Maria with desperate longing. Maria stood her ground, blood dripping steadily now, staining her collar. Her posture screamed composure. Shoulders back, gaze level. Inside, her mind raced. The partner's threat, poison in the mail, whispers of sabotage. I had to hide her, but words stuck in her throat as Richard's glare bored her. He whipped out his phone, thumb smashing the screen. 911? Yeah, emergency. An intruder in my home. Tried to kidnap my daughter. Send units now. 5th Avenue, Harrington Estate. His voice cracked with authority, the CEO in him surfacing like armor. They'll handle this. Lock her up. He paced the narrow space, free hand gesturing wildly at Maria. You thought you could sneak in here? Steal from me? From us? Maria's lips parted again. No, sir. I was protecting. Protecting? He laughed bitterly, a harsh bark that made Lily flinch. By locking yourself in with her? You're fired. Worse, you're going to jail. He shoved the phone back in his pocket, advancing until he loomed inches from her face. The scent of his cologne, sharp, expensive, clashed with the basement's musty air. Look at her, acting innocent. Immigrants like her, always scheming. She met his eyes unflinchingly, the cut on her cheek pulsing with each heartbeat. He'll call the cops, fine, but the truth will out. Her hands clenched at her sides, knuckles whitening. Blood smeared her fingers, but she didn't wipe it. Let him see the mark he'd left. Sirens wailed faintly outside, growing louder, piercing the night. Richard's security team burst down the stairs. Two burly men in black uniforms, radios crackling. "Boss, what's the situation?" One barked, eyes scanning the room. "Her!" Richard snapped, pointing at Maria like a weapon. "Detain her! Police are en route!" The guards moved in, one grabbing her arm roughly, the other cuffing her wrist with zip ties that bit into her skin. Maria didn't resist, her body going limp but dignified, head held high. Struggle, and it'll be worse for Lily. Lily, still in Richard's arms, twisted to watch, fresh tears streaming. "Maria, no!" The word ripped from her throat, small and broken. Richard hushed her again, turning away so she couldn't see. "She'll forget. Kids do." The guards hauled Maria toward the stairs, her feet dragging slightly on the steps. She glanced back once, eyes locking on Lily's tearful face. "Be brave, little one." Pain shot through her bound wrists, but she swallowed it. Outside, cop cars screeched up the driveway, lights flashing chaotic patterns across the facade. Officers piled out, hands on holsters. "Step aside, sir," one commanded, taking over from the guards. They patted Maria down efficiently, finding nothing but her phone and a crumpled tissue. Richard followed, Lily hoisted on his hip, her cries muffled against his shoulder. "She was in the panic room with my daughter. Locked in, clear kidnapping attempt. Probably after the safe, too." His words tumbled out, laced with conviction. "Nail her." The lead officer nodded, snapping cuffs on Maria. Cold metal replacing the zip ties. "You're under arrest. Rights? You have the right to remain silent." The Miranda warning droned on, but Maria tuned it out, her mind on the letter in her bag downstairs. If he finds it. Pushed into the cruiser, door slamming shut, Maria sat straight-backed, staring out at the mansion's glowing windows. Blood dried crusty on her cheek. He threw keys at me, like trash. Humiliation burned, but resolve hardened it to steel. For my family, hidden family. Richard watched the car pull away, lights fading into the night. Victory surged, then ebbed. Lily's weight in his arms felt heavier, her sobs unrelenting. Why won't she stop? He carried her inside, the door clicking shut behind him. Emptiness echoed. Upstairs, he tried rocking her in the nursery, but his movements were jerky, unskilled. Lily pushed away, curling into a ball on the floor. "Want Maria," she mumbled through hiccups. "Damn it." Richard's fist clenched. "She's just a nanny. Replaceable." But doubt crept in, a whisper. What if there was more? He shoved it down, focusing on the anger. Police will sort it. Hours later, alone in his study, the key's impact replayed in his mind. The smack, the blood. Necessary, he told himself, but sleep evaded, guilt's seed planting roots. Downstairs, Maria's bag sat forgotten in the basement, its contents waiting like a bomb. The city lights blurred as the cruiser sped away. Maria closed her eyes, breathing deep. He'll regret it. Not a threat, a promise. Richard paced his office, phone buzzing with updates. Suspect in custody. Relief washed over him, then unease. Lily is finally asleep, exhausted. He glanced at photos on his desk, his late wife smiling. What would she say? A twinge. Push on. But the night stretched long, shadows deepening. Morning would bring clarity or chaos. Maria's cheek burned, the cut from the keys throbbing like a heartbeat. Blood trickled warm down her jaw, dripping onto the basement floor in tiny splatters. She didn't wipe it. Let it show a crimson badge of his rage. Her eyes locked on Richard's, unblinking, steady as stone. He thinks he's won, but truth cuts deeper than keys. Inside, her stomach knotted, fear for Lily spiking like ice in her veins. The girl's cries echoed from upstairs, sharp and desperate, pulling at Maria's core like invisible strings. Richard loomed, phone still clutched like a weapon, his breath hot and ragged. You're finished, he spat, voice low and venomous now, the initial roar giving way to cold command. His free hand gestured sharply at the guards. Get her out. Lily's wails filtered down, muffled but relentless, a soundtrack to his victory. She'll calm down soon, without this intruder. But doubt flickered in his chest, quick as a shadow. gone before he could grasp it. Maria straightened her spine, shoulders squaring despite the zip ties biting into her wrists. Pain shot up her arms, but she swallowed it, jaw set. No tears, no begging. Dignity is my shield. She glanced once at the basement's shadows, where her bag lay abandoned. Papers inside, secrets tucked away like grenades. If he looks, but no time. The guards gripped her elbows, fingers digging bruises into her skin, propelling her toward the stairs. "Move!" one grunted, shoving her forward. Maria stumbled a step, then caught herself, feet planting firm on the cold concrete. Her skirt swished softly, the only gentle sound amid the chaos. Up the stairs they hauled her, each riser creaking under the weight of injustice. Richard followed close, his footsteps heavy, authoritative, eyes boring into her back like daggers. Thief, kidnapper, liar. His mind looped the accusations, fueling the fire. At the top, the grand foyer sprawled, chandelier crystals twinkling mockingly overhead, marble floors gleaming under recessed lights. Maria's eyes darted to the nursery door upstairs, where Lily's sobs peaked and fell like waves. "Hold on, child. I'm coming back." Somehow, the front door loomed ahead, massive oak with brass handles, a portal to the outside world. One guard yanked it open. Night air rushed in, cool and crisp, carrying the scent of manicured lawns and distant city hum. Cop cars idled in the driveway, engines rumbling, lights pulsing red-blue-red across the facade. Officers stood ready, faces stern under visored caps, hands hovering near holsters. "Is this the suspect?" the lead one barked, stepping forward. Richard nodded sharply. "Yes. Take her." He crossed his arms, stance wide, the king of his castle asserting dominance. Inside, Lily's cries tugged at him again. Why so persistent? She's fine. This is for her safety. Maria turned slightly, her bound hands awkward behind her back, meeting his gaze one last time. Her voice cut through the noise, clear and unwavering, accent wrapping the words like velvet over steel. "You'll regret not listening, Mr. Harrington." The words landed like a slap, hanging in the air. Richard's eyes narrowed, a flash of unease crossing his features, gone in an instant, buried under anger. Threat? From her? He waved dismissively. "Get her out of my sight." The guards pushed her forward, out onto the porch steps. Maria didn't resist, stepping deliberately, head high, as if parading rather than being paraded. Wind tugged at her hair, loosening strands that framed her bloodied cheek like war paint. Officers flanked her now, one grabbing her arm. Firmer than necessary, twisting just enough to elicit a wince she hid. "Watch it," she thought, but said nothing. Her belongings, coat, purse, the small locket around her neck with a photo of her own child back in Poland. Left behind in the rush. No time to grab. Doesn't matter. Survival first. Down the steps, gravel crunching under her sensible shoes, each particle biting like judgment. Richard watched from the doorway, silhouette framed by warm interior light. Victory soured in his mouth as Maria's words echoed. Regret not listening. What does she know? Nothing. But Lily's distant whimpers clawed at him, insistent. He slammed the door shut, the boom reverberating through the empty hall. Alone now, he rubbed his throwing hand, knuckles aching faintly. Necessary force. Outside, Maria slid into the cruiser's back seat, the door clanging shut like a cage. Vinyl seats stuck to her legs, cold and unforgiving. Through the barred window, the mansion receded, grand, imposing, but hollow. He threw me out like garbage, without my things. But I protected her. Her mind flashed to the panic room. Lily's warmth in her arms, the girl's trust absolute. Worth it. The engine revved, tires peeling out. Officers chatted up front, voices muffled. Rich guys pissed, easy collar. Maria leaned back, closing her eyes against the flashing lights. Pain pulsed in her cheek, wrists raw from cuffs. Regret. He'll feel it soon. A small smile tugged at her lips, not triumphant, but resolute. Family secrets don't stay buried. Back inside, Richard ascended to the nursery. Lily huddled on the bed, face puffy, refusing the housekeeper's awkward hugs. "Maria," she mumbled over and over. He scooped her up, but she stiffened, pushing away. Why? His arms felt foreign, inadequate. He paced the room, bouncing her gently. Too gently? Too rough? The rhythm eluded him. Downstairs, Maria's bag sat in the basement, zipper half open, papers peeking out. A letter fluttered slightly in the draft from the vents. Richard's security feed hummed on his phone. Empty rooms, silent, all clear now. But unease gnawed, her words looping. Regret, not listening. He set Lily down, tucking her in with forced tenderness. She clutched her pillow, eyes accusatory. Kids bounced back, but sleep evaded him too, mind replaying the hurl of keys, the blood. Overreaction? No. Dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving. In the precinct holding cell, Maria sat on the hard bench, hands still bound, cheek crusted with dried blood. No coat against the chill. They took everything. But dignity remained, spine straight, breathing even. He'll come, when he finds the truth. Footsteps echoed down the hall, intake officers approaching. "Name?" Maria stated it calmly, voice unwavering. Richard, alone in his study, stared at the ceiling. Lily finally quiet, but the house felt wrong, too still. "Bag, check it." He descended again, flipping lights. The bag mocked him from the floor. Zipper rasped open fully. Contents spilled. Wallet, keys, her keys, and that letter. He snatched it, unfolding with trembling fingers. Words hit like bullets. "Maria, my lost sister, if danger comes from his partner, protect Lily. Love, Elena." His late wife's name. Sister? Knees buckled. He gripped the table, world tilting. What have I done? Thrown out family? Guilt crashed in, wave after wave. "Regret," she warned me. Fist pounded the wall. Crack. Pain bloomed, but it sharpened focus. "Fix this. Now. Phone out." Dialing frantically. "Police. Release her. Mistake." But bureaucracy moved slowly. Maria, in her cell, heard the clang of bars. "It's starting." She closed her eyes, whispering a prayer in Polish. Strength surged. For Lily. For us. Richard paced upstairs, Lily stirring awake with fresh tears. "Hurry." The night had shattered everything. Regret burned hot, forging resolve. Bring her back. The cruiser vanished down the driveway, taillights winking out like dying stars. Richard slammed the front door, the thud echoing through the vast foyer like a final judgment. Silence crashed in, thick, oppressive, wrapping the mansion in a shroud. No more sirens, no footsteps, no voices. Just the tick of the grandfather clock in the hall. Metronome slow, marking the void. Quiet at last, Richard thought, rolling his shoulders to shake off the adrenaline. But the emptiness gnawed, turning triumph hollow. He glanced upstairs where Lily's cries had subsided to whimpers during the chaos. She'll sleep it off. He climbed the stairs, each step creaking under his weight, the banister cool and unyielding under his palm. The nursery door stood ajar, soft nightlight spilling golden hues into the corridor. Inside, Lily huddled on her bed, knees drawn to chest, face buried in her pillow. The housekeeper, elderly Mrs. Ellis, hovered nearby, wringing her hands, her gray bun disheveled. "Sir, she's been like this since Maria left." Ellis's voice trembled, eyes darting away as if fearing his wrath. Richard waved her off sharply. "Go, I'll handle it." Ellis scurried out, door clicking shut behind her. Alone with Lily, he approached the bed, kneeling to her level. "Hey, princess, it's over. Daddy's here." His voice aimed for soothing, but it came out gruff, edged with exhaustion. Lily peeked up, eyes red-rimmed, lashes clumped with tears. Her lower lip quivered. "Where's Maria?" The question hit like a punch, a small voice cracking. Maria again. Richard's jaw tightened. He scooped her up, settling into the rocking chair by the window. Moonlight filtered through curtains, casting ethereal patterns on the carpet. "She's gone, baby, but you're safe now." Lily squirmed in his lap, tiny fists pushing against his chest. "Want Maria? She sings the song!" Her voice rose, pitching into a wail that pierced the silence like a siren reborn. Tears streamed anew, soaking his shirt front. He rocked harder, arms awkward around her wriggling form. Why won't she stop? Memories flashed. Maria in the panic room, humming that lullaby, Lily calming instantly in her embrace. Richard tried mimicking it, humming off key, voice rumbling low. Lily thrashed harder, screams escalating. No, not like that. Her small body went rigid, then limp with sobs, heaving gas shaking her frame. The room felt smaller, walls closing in. Toys scattered on the floor, stuffed bear Maria had sewn a patch on, the dollhouse where she'd played endless games. Each item screamed absence. Richard's mind raced. She was just the nanny, hired help. Why this reaction? But Lily's cries revealed cracks. Nights he'd worked late, Maria stepping in, fevers she'd nursed, stories she'd told. She solved what I ignored. Sweat beaded on his brow despite the cool air. He set Lily down, pacing the nursery, hands raking through his hair. Come on, kiddo. Bedtime. He tucked her in roughly. The blanket pulled tight. Lily kicked it off, rolling away, back to him, sobs muffled but unrelenting. Stubborn, like her mother. The thought stung. Elena's photo on the nightstand, smiling eternally. What would she do? Downstairs, the silence amplified. He wandered to the kitchen, flipping lights, harsh fluorescence buzzing to life. Empty counters, no warm smells of Maria's late-night snacks for Lily. Irrelevant. He poured water, glass clinking too loudly. Upstairs, Lily's cries carried faintly, a persistent drumbeat eroding his resolve. Back in the nursery, he tried again, sitting on the bed's edge, stroking her hair. Strands stuck damp to her forehead. Shh, it's okay. But touch sparked fresh howls. Lily bolted upright, face contorted. Maria fixes it. She knows. The words slapped him. Maria knew the nightmares, the picky eating, the exact hug that calms storms. Richard's hands balled into fists. Dependency. That's all this is. Hours dragged. He carried her to his office, hoping for distraction. Screens flickering with stock tickers. Lily curled on the couch, thumb in mouth, eyes glassy with exhaustion but refusing sleep. Her whimpers punctuated the quiet, each one a needle. This is what Maria handled. Alone. Realization dawned slow, like poison seeping. The house, once a fortress, now echoed with loss. Empty halls, unmanned kitchen, a child's unrelenting grief exposing the fractures. Richard's phone buzzed. Security update. All clear. He stared at it, thumb hovering. Clear? Feels like invasion. Lily's cries peaked again, raw-throated now. He scooped her up once more, desperation mounting. What do you need, huh? She pointed vaguely downstairs. Maria's song, in the safe room. The safe room, his gut twisted. Why there? Flashes, Maria cradling her, door locked. Protection? From what? Doubt seeded, blooming fast. The silence outside the nursery pressed in, terrifying in its vastness. The mansion a tomb without Maria's quiet efficiency. He descended with Lily in arms, her head lolling on his shoulder, sobs hiccuping. Basement door ajar, lights off. He flicked the switch, a harsh glow illuminating the panic room. Lily perked slightly. Here, with Maria. She wriggled down, toddling to the spot where Maria had held her, plopping onto the floor, fresh tears welling. Richard watched, chest tight. This is insane. The room's steel walls mocked him, secure, yet now a symbol of rupture. Lily rocked herself, humming fragments of the lullaby, voice tiny and broken. The problem Maria solved glared obvious. Comfort, consistency, the glue holding his fractured family. Silence elsewhere amplified her absence. The kitchen clock ticking alone, wind whispering through vents like ghosts. House of cards, without her. Guilt flickered, but he shoved it down. Tomorrow, new nanny. But Lily's endless cries wore him thin, revealing the chasm Maria had bridged effortlessly. Night deepened. He carried her back up, exhausted, claiming them both. Lily finally dozed, fitful, murmuring Maria in sleep. Richard collapsed in a chair, staring at the ceiling. The terrifying quiet settled, broken only by her occasional whimpers. What did I miss? Downstairs, her bag waited, a silent sentinel. The letter inside poised to shatter everything. Richard rubbed his eyes, headache blooming. Rest? Deal later. But sleep evaded, the silence screaming truths he wasn't ready to hear. Lily's whimpers faded to ragged breaths, her small chest rising and falling in uneasy sleep. Richard eased out of the nursery, door creaking shut behind him like a sigh of defeat. The hallway stretched endless, shadows pooling in corners, the mansion's grandeur mocking his isolation. Finally quiet, but the silence clawed deeper now, amplifying every creak of settling wood, every distant hum of the city beyond the windows. He descended the stairs, feet heavy on the marble, hand trailing the banister for balance. Exhaustion tugged at him, but sleep felt miles away. The basement door loomed again, ajar, a black maw in the dim light. Maria's bag slumped against the wall inside, zipper half undone, contents spilling like secrets begging to be found. Her junk, should toss it, but curiosity nipped, sharp and insistent. He flicked the light switch, harsh bulbs buzzing to life, illuminating scuff marks on the floor from the scuffle. The panic room's door hung open, monitors dark now, emergency lights off. Echoes of chaos lingered, Lily's cries, Maria's steady gaze. Richard snatched the bag, fabric rough under his fingers. He upended it on the steel table, wallet tumbling out, a crumpled tissue, keys jingling, and papers scattering like fallen leaves. Photos, too. Faded shots of a woman who looked eerily like Elena, his late wife, arm around a younger Maria. What? His pulse quickened, fingers rifling faster. There, a yellowed envelope, edges frayed, sealed with old tape. No address, just for emergency, scrawled in Elena's looping script. He tore it open, paper rasping. Inside, a letter unfolded in his shaking hands. Words leaped off the page. Dearest Maria, my lost sister, found you too late. If I'm gone, watch over Lily. Richard's partner, Victor. He's scheming. Debts, threats, poison in packages, whispers of accidents. Hide her if danger comes. Your family, blood. Protect our girl. Love, Elena. Sister? The room spun. Richard's knees buckled. He gripped the table edge, knuckles whitening. Elena's sister? Hidden all this time? Flashbacks assaulted him. Maria's arrival 6 months ago. Recommended through some agency. Quiet, efficient, bonding instantly with Lily. Not a coincidence. Protection. The letter detailed more. Victor's embezzlement, his grudge over a failed deal, plans to eliminate Richard's heirs for control. Evidence tucked in. A printed email snippet. Victor's name bolded. Threats veiled as business talk. Bile rose in Richard's throat. She locked them in to shield Lily from Victor's hit. His mind raced back. The alarm triggering not from break-in, but perhaps a tampered sensor? Maria's pleading eyes, her cut cheek from his keys. I accused her, threw her out. Guilt slammed in, hot and unrelenting, chest tightening like a vice. The basement air thickened, suffocating. He staggered out. Letters clutched like a lifeline, ascending to his study. The door banged shut. Alone. He collapsed into the leather armchair, room dimly lit by a desk lamp, shadows dancing on bookshelves lined with untouched volumes. Fool, blinded by ego. Fingers dug into his temples, rubbing hard, as if to erase the headache blooming fierce. Pain pulsed, matching his heartbeat. Thud, thud, regret. A crystal decanter sat on the sideboard, amber whiskey glinting. He poured a glass, liquid sloshing, hand unsteady. Set it down untouched at first, staring into the depths. The liquor swirled, mocking his reflection, distorted, fractured, like me. Hatred boiled up, not for Maria, but himself. CEO of empires, king of deals. Can't see betrayal under my nose. Victor's face flashed, smarmy smiles at board meetings, handshakes sealing shady pacts. He plotted against my family, and I handed Maria to the wolves. Richard's fist clenched around the glass stem, knuckles cracking. He lifted it, staring longer, liquid like poison, promising numbness. Deserved the burn. But he didn't sip, just glared, contempt twisting his features. Brows furrowed, jaw locked, eyes narrowing to slits. Chan get, disgust. The Vietnamese word Maria sometimes muttered under her breath? No, she was Polish, but the feeling fit, self-loathing, pure and raw. Memories piled on, Maria bandaging Lily's scraped knee last week, her gentle touch. Reading bedtime stories with animated voices, Lily giggling. She solved everything I ignored. Now the letter's weight in his lap burned, protecting from Victor. And he rubbed temples again, harder, skin reddening under pressure. A groan escaped, low and guttural. The study clock ticked, slow, accusatory. Outside, city lights twinkled indifferently. Richard's mind whirled. Call the police, retract charges, confront Victor, beg Maria back. Family, Elena's sister. Tears pricked, hot, unwelcome. He blinked them away, focusing on the glass. Drink? No. Face it sober. Hatred intensified, staring until the whiskey seemed to stare back, judging. He shoved the glass aside, liquid spilling, pooling on the wood like blood. Stood abruptly, pacing the rug, back and forth, shoes scuffing. Action, now. Phone out, dialing his lawyer. Get Maria released. Immediately. False alarm. The voice cracked, but resolved to harden. But doubt lingered. Will she forgive? Temples throbbed anew. He pressed palms against them, squeezing eyes shut. Visions. Maria's dignified exit. Her warning words. Regret. Living it. The room spun slightly. He sank back into the chair. Breath ragged. Alone with his Chan get. The night stretched endless. The letter lay open, truths glaring. Change everything. Whiskey sat abandoned. A symbol of weakness he refused. Rubbing temples once more, he plotted redemption, step by vicious step. Lily stirred upstairs, a faint cry piercing the quiet. Richard bolted from the chair, but paused. She needs Maria. We both do. Guilt deepened, a chasm. He returned to staring at the glass, hatred for himself crystallizing. Dawn hinted at the horizon, gray light seeping through blinds. Richard didn't move, temples raw from rubbing, eyes fixed on the spill. Monster, fix it. Resolve ignited, burning away the disgust, just enough to act. Richard's tires screeched out of the driveway, engine roaring like a beast unleashed. Dawn broke gray over New York, skyscrapers piercing the haze, but his eyes fixed on the road. Narrowed, determined. The letter burned in his pocket, Elena's words looping in his skull. Sister, protect Lily. Guilt clawed his gut, sharper than any boardroom betrayal. Find her. Fix this. He gripped the wheel, knuckling white, weaving through early traffic. Horns blared. He ignored them, foot slamming the accelerator. Immigrant neighborhood? Queens? Brooklyn? Maria's intake papers from the agency flashed in memory. A vague address scribbled, perhaps outdated. The GPS barked directions, voice robotic and indifferent. Turn left in 500 feet. Richard obeyed, veering into narrower streets, cracked sidewalks, bodegas with flickering neon, graffiti-splashed walls closing in. Kids scampered to school buses, mothers hustled with strollers. Not my world. His Mercedes stuck out like a sore thumb, drawing stares from passers-by. He parked curbside, engine ticking cool, scanning house numbers. 247 Elm, supposed to be hers. He bolted out, slamming the door, striding to the stoop. Knocked hard, fist pounding wood. No answer. Wrong? He banged again, louder. Curtains twitched next door. A face peered out, suspicious. Looking for Maria Kowalski, he barked at the cracked door when it finally opened. An elderly woman in a housecoat, eyes squinting through bifocals. Who? She rasped, accent thick. Richard repeated, voice edged with impatience. Maria. Nanny. Live here? The woman shook her head, door inching shut. Moved. Months ago. Try a community center. Down block. Slam. Obstacle 1. Richard cursed under his breath, sweat beading despite the chill. Not giving up. He jogged back to the car, tires spinning as he peeled out. Community center. Vague lead, but something. Blocks blurred. Stop signs ignored. His mind racing faster than the speedometer. Victor's plot. How deep? Maria knew. Elena trusted her. Flash of Lily's tear-streaked face hit him. He swerved, nearly clipping a hydrant. Focus. The center loomed, squat brick building, faded sign reading East Side Aid Hub, playground out front with rusted swings creaking in the wind. He parked haphazardly, leaping out, suit rumpled from the night, tie askew. The door jangled open, inside chaos of voices, kids laughing, adults milling. The smell of coffee and crayons hit him, grounding yet alien. He scanned the room, volunteers sorting donations, a group of children in a circle for story time. There, Maria. She knelt on a worn mat, bandaging a boy's scraped knee, her touch gentle, voice murmuring in soothing Polish, then switching to English. There, brave one, all better. The kid, maybe 7, dirt-streaked face, grinned, flexing his leg. Maria ruffled his hair, smiled soft but weary, bruised on her cheek, purpling from his keys. My mark. Richard froze in the doorway, heart hammering. She moved to another child, a toddler with a runny nose, wiping it tenderly, humming that same lullaby she'd used for Lily. Volunteering, even now. He watched, hidden by a coat rack, as Maria organized a game. Kids forming lines, her laughter light despite the shadows under her eyes. No bitterness in her posture, just quiet strength, hands steady as she passed out snacks from a box. A volunteer clapped her shoulder. You're a lifesaver, Maria. She nodded modestly, but her eyes scanned the room. Alert, protective, like with Lily. Richard's throat tightened. She's not broken, stronger than me. But doubt surged. Who is she really? Elena's sister. Proof? He slipped out unnoticed, phone already dialing his private investigator. Discreet, expensive, the one who'd vetted deals before. Dig into Maria Kowalski, Poland origins linked to my wife Elena. Everything, now. Voice low, urgent, as he paced the sidewalk. The PI's response crackled. On it, boss. Immigration records, family trees. Give me hours. Richard hung up, leaning against his car, breath fogging the air. Deeper. Need facts. Traffic hummed past. He ignored it, mind-piecing puzzles. Wrong address? Intentional? Maria hiding her past? Why apply as my nanny? Flashback, her interview. Resume spotless but sparse. Calculated. He climbed back in, engine revving, but didn't drive off yet. Glanced back at the center. Through the window, Maria lifted a crying girl onto her lap, rocking gently, the child's sobs easing. Natural. Maternal. Jealousy pricked. Lily needed that. I failed her. Phone buzzed. Preliminary report. Kowalski Maria, born Warsaw 1985, emigrated 2010, legal visa. Sister, Elena Kowalski, married Harrington. Your wife. Adoption records are sealed, but DNA matches probable. Worked odd jobs, always with kids. No criminal history. Richard's fist clenched around the device. Truth. Family, but more. Recent searches. Your partner's name. Victor Lang. Flag threats. She was investigating him. Resolve hardened like steel. Deeper still. He texted the PI. Cross-reference Elena's death. Accident or foul play? The engine roared to life. He pulled out, navigating back through the maze of streets. Obstacles mounted, traffic jam, snarling progress, a detour from construction forcing reroutes. Like her life, barriers everywhere. He pounded the wheel, frustration boiling. Get home. Plan. But the image of Maria at the center lingered, caring for strangers' kids, selfless. While I threw her out, guilt twisted knife-like. Lily at home, probably waking to emptiness. Hurry. He accelerated, dodging potholes, mind whirling with next steps. Confront Victor. Free Maria fully. Beg forgiveness. Investigate her past. Ensure no lies. The neighborhood faded in the rear view, but her face stayed etched. Back on the highway, wind whipping through cracked windows. Phone pinged again. Deeper dive. Elena mentioned Maria and Will. Coded. Hidden kin. Victor's financials are shady. Debts to you. Motive. Richard's jaw set, eyes stealing. Uncover it all. The drive blurred, determination fueling every mile. She's the hero. I'm a fool. Arrival home loomed, but the journey inward deepened. Questions piling like storm clouds. Who else knows? He parked, storming inside, straight to his office. Files spread, laptop open. Dig alone now. Typing furiously. Searches on Maria's name. Poland records. Hits. Orphanage photos. Elena and Maria as girls separated young. Lost sisters. Reunited through me. Guilt peaked, but action suppressed it. More. Everything. The day stretched. Investigation consuming him. Lily's nanny temp arrived. Awkward, inefficient, but he barely noticed, buried in truths. Maria's past, clean, tragic, heroic. Resolve crystallized, bring her home, as a family. Richard's car screeched to a halt outside the community center, gravel flying like shrapnel. Sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the brick facade. The playground empty now, save for a lone swing creaking in the breeze. He killed the engine, heart pounding like a war drum. Here, face her. The PI's report burned in his glove box. DNA confirmed, Elena's sister, no lies. Victor's threats are real, emails hacked and exposed. I was the blind one. He stepped out, suit wrinkled, tie loosened, no armor of arrogance left. Hands shoved in pockets, he approached the door, slow, hesitant, like a man walking to judgment. Inside, the center buzzed faintly. Volunteers packing up. Kids' drawings fluttering on walls. Maria sat at a folding table, sorting crayons, her back to him. Bruise on her cheek faded to yellow, but the cut scabbed over, a reminder of his fury. My doing? He cleared his throat, voice catching. She turned sharply, eyes widening, recognition flashing to wariness. Mr. Harrington. Flat tone, no warmth. She stood, crossing arms like a barrier, posture rigid. Intruder now, in her space. Richard stopped feet away, hat metaphorically in hand. Actual one crumpled in his fist from the drive. He shifted weight, eyes dropping to the floor, scuffed linoleum staring back. Weak. Feel it. Maria. The name hung heavy, a plea. She didn't budge. Gaze piercing, waiting. Kids' laughter echoed from an adjacent room, mocking the tension. He swallowed hard, throat dry as sandpaper. I found the letter in your bag. Her expression flickered, surprise then steel. She knows. He stepped closer, voice dropping low, raw. Elena's sister, my wife's family, and Victor, the plot. You were protecting Lily, from him, from everything I ignored. Words tumbled, laced with cracks. His hands gestured helplessly, palms up, surrender. Maria's eyes narrowed, lips pressing thin, listening, but not forgiving. Richard rubbed his neck, heat rising despite the cool air. Say it. I was wrong, blinded by suspicion, by my ego. I accused you, hurt you, threw those keys. Voice broke. He met her eyes finally, his pleading, hers unyielding. Maria's fists clenched at her sides, nails biting palms. Apology? After cuffs, blood, abandonment? Memories surged, Lily's cries, cold cell bench, dignity stripped. But his posture, slumped shoulders, averted gaze, shifted something. Weak now. Tables turned. She uncrossed arms slowly, chin lifting. And now? Voice steady, edged with challenge. No tears, resolve like iron. Richard exhaled sharply, stepping back, giving space, yielding ground. Her turf. Forgive me. Please, come back. Lily needs you. I need to make this right. He knelt suddenly, knee hitting the floor with a thud, head bowed. Volunteers paused nearby, whispers rippling, but he ignored them. Humiliated, deserved. I was a fool, saw the thief where there was a guardian. Family. Maria's breath hitched, surprise cracking her facade. Kneeling? The CEO? She glanced away to the window where streetlights flickered on. For Lily. Always. Her mind raced. Back to Poland, lost sister Elena reaching out years ago, the promise to protect. He ignored her warnings then. Now? She stepped forward, voice firm. Stand up. He rose awkwardly, eyes hopeful but dimmed. She met them head on. I'll return. For Lily, not you. Richard nodded eagerly, relief flooding, then checked by her raised hand. But conditions. Her tone brooked no argument, power flipping like a switch. Her rules now. Recognize me as family, aunt, blood, no more nanny, equal. And Victor? You handle him. Police exposure, no loose ends. She jabbed a finger at his chest, not touching, but the force landed. Demand, not modify it. He blinked, processing. Ego bruised, but guilt overriding. Fair, more than. Agreed, all of it. Your family, Elena's legacy. Voice sincere, cracking again. Maria searched his face. Lines of exhaustion, eyes raw with remorse. Truth or act? A child's laugh from next door softened her. Lily's face flashed in mind. For her. She nodded once, sharp. Fine, but one slip, gone forever. Richard's shoulders sagged, tension easing like a dam breaking. Accepted. Barely. He straightened, offering a hand, tentative shake. Maria took it briefly, gripped firmly, then pulled away. Power shift, permanent. Outside, dusk deepened. He glanced at the door. Come now, Lily's waiting. She shook her head. Tomorrow. I need time. Her terms. He nodded, backing toward the exit. Weak exit. But start. Driving home, city lights blurred through the windshield. Apologized. Conditions met. But her words echoed. For the child, not you. Sting burned, forging humility. Lily greeted him at the door, temp nanny hovering. Daddy, where is Maria? He knelt to her level. Coming back, princess. Soon. Her hug squeezed tight, first real one in days. Night fell. Richard paced his study, whiskey untouched again. Recognized as family. He dialed lawyers. Amend will. Add Maria Kowalski, sister-in-law. Shares access. Voice decisive. Victor's file opens on the desk. Evidence compiled. Ready for authorities. End him. Maria, back at the center's spare room, her temporary shelter, sat on the cot, hands trembling now the confrontation ended. Accepted. But be wary, she touched the scab on her cheek, wincing. His mark fades. Mine stays. A photo from her wallet. Elena, young and smiling. For you, sister. Resolve settled. Tomorrow return. As an aunt. Power reclaimed. Richard slept fitfully. Dreams of Elena approving. Maria guarding. Morning light pierced curtains. He rose, prepping the house. Guest room for Maria. No staff quarters. Equal. Phone buzzed. Police update on Victor. Arrest imminent. Justice. At the center, Maria packed sparse belongings. Heart racing. Back. But changed. She stepped out. Cab waiting. His arrangement. Arrival at the mansion. Door opened by Richard. Lily bounding into her arms. Aunt Maria! Word spread fast. Maria hugged tight, eyes meeting Richard's over the girl's head. Not of truce. Power balanced. For now. Weeks blurred into action. Richard's office, a war room of change. Papers stacked high. Proposals, contracts, emails flying like missiles. He slammed the phone down after another call to donors. Done. Million pledged. His voice echoed off glass walls, the city skyline indifferent below. For Maria, for Elena's memory. Guilt still lingered, a shadow but resolve burned brighter. Board meetings turned battlegrounds. New policies, fair wages, no bias hires, legal aid for immigrants. Directors shifted uncomfortably, ties tightening like nooses. Richard leaned forward, eyes steel. Implement now, or walk. One nodded, others followed. Dominoes toppled. Company transformed overnight. Maria watched from the sidelines, arms crossed in the mansion's study, Lily playing at her feet. You're serious? Her tone skeptical, bruise fully healed, but caution etched deep. Richard nodded, handing her the charter. Maria Foundation supports workers like you. Scholarships, visas, rights. She scanned the document, fingers tracing lines. Real change, not words. A small smile cracked her facade. For us? He met her gaze. For family. Lily tugged her skirt. Aunt Maria, play. The word aunt landed soft. Official now. Papers filed. DNA sealed in records. The fun launched with fanfare. Press conference in the company lobby. Flashes popping like gunfire. Richard at the podium, suit sharp, voice steady. Today we honor overlooked heroes, immigrants building our world. Cameras zoomed. Maria stood off stage. Simple dress, holding Lily's hand. Whispers rippled. His nanny? No, sister-in-law. He gestured her forward. She hesitated, then stepped up, chin high. This is Maria Kowalski-Harrington, my family, our inspiration. Applause thundered. She nodded gracefully, inside surging with vindication. Recognized. Finally back home, renovations hummed, staff quarters gutted, turned into guest suites. No hierarchies, Richard barked at contractors, blueprints crumpling in his fist. Policies rolled out company-wide, training on bias, anonymous reporting, raises for entry level. Emails poured in, grateful workers, stories mirroring Maria's. Impact. Victor's arrest made headlines. Embezzlement. Threats exposed. His empire crumbling. Richard watched the news clip, fist pumping subtly. Justice served. Evening settled. Kitchen alive with scents. Maria at the stove, stirring stew. Polish spices wafting. Lily set the table, giggling as she placed forks crookedly. Like this, Aunt, Maria corrected gently, hand on her shoulder. Richard entered, sleeves rolled, tie discarded. Smells amazing. He grabbed plates, helping without command. New habit, learned hard. They sat around the oak table, candles flickering, no staff hovering, family only. Maria served, portions generous. Eat. You need strength. Her voice is warm now, edges softened. Lily chatted. Today at school, I told everyone about Aunt Maria. Richard chuckled, spoon pausing midair. Proud, huh? Lily nodded vigorously, sauce smearing her chin. Maria wiped it tenderly, eyes meeting Richard's. Truce solidified. Conversation flowed. Lily's drawings, company updates, Maria's center stories. I volunteered today, helped a new mom with papers. Richard listened, really listened. No interruptions, nods thoughtful. Learning. Laughter erupted. Lily mimicking Richard's boardroom glare, exaggerated frown crumpling her face. He roared back playfully, tickling her sides. Maria joined, her laugh light, free. Plates emptied, dessert followed, apple pie, Maria's recipe from home. Elena's favorite, she murmured, slicing. Richard paused, fork hovering. Tell me more. About her, you. Maria shared. Childhood tales, separation pains, reunion whispers. He absorbed questions gentle, no probes. Listening, key. Dishes cleared together. Richard washing, Maria drying, Lily stacking haphazardly. Suds splashed, banter flew. You're terrible at this, Maria teased, flicking water. He grinned, retaliating with a bubble. Lily squealed, joining the fray. The kitchen gleamed. They migrated to the living room, fire crackling. Board games out, Monopoly, fitting irony. Maria dominated, properties stacking. See? Strategy. Richard lost gracefully, no ego flare. Changed man. Bedtime loomed. Richard carried Lily upstairs, her head on his shoulder. Maria followed, tucking her in, lullaby humming soft. Lily's eyes drooped. Love you both. Kiss on foreheads, lights out. Downstairs they lingered. Wine poured, fire dying. Thank you, Richard said simply. Maria nodded. For Lily. But her eyes softened further. And maybe you. Months solidified the shift. Fund growing, donations pouring, stories of helped families flooding in. Company profits dipped briefly, then soared. Morale boost, innovation spike. Richard at the desk, reviewing reports. Protected employees, our strength. Maria is involved now. advising on programs, voice equal in meetings, partner, family. Dinner became ritual, table-laden, conversations deep. Lily thrived, drawings of my big family pinned on the fridge. Richard glanced at Elena's photo nightly, whispering thanks. You sent her. Maria touched the frame sometimes, silent bond. Power redefined, not command but connection. The new family dined under the stars one night, patio lit, toast raised. To listen. Glasses clinked, warmth spread, rebuilt, stronger. Months solidified the transformation. The mansion no longer a cold fortress, but a living home pulsing with warmth. Richard's days blurred into boardroom battles won not by force, but by alliance. Policies enforced, funds swelling like a tide. He slammed a gavel at the latest meeting, voice steady. Listen to your teams, or lose them. Directors nodded, notes scribbled furiously, no pushback. Changed culture. Maria sat in, her input sharp, unchallenged, ideas on worker protections flowing like water. Richard deferring with a nod. She's right. Power shared, not seized. Evenings anchored them. Tables set with candles flickering, plates steaming. Lily bounded in first, backpack slung off, stories spilling. School triumphs, playground wars. Aunt Maria, guess what? Maria knelt to her level, eyes locked, absorbing every word. Tell me everything. No interruptions, full attention, her hand on Lily's shoulder grounding the chaos. Richard watched from the doorway, suit jacket shed, sleeves rolled, learning the art of presence. He joined, pulling a chair, and asked gentle questions. How'd that make you feel? Lily beamed, words tumbling faster. Dinner unfolded like a ritual. Maria's stew simmering, flavors rich from old recipes. Richard chopping vegetables beside her, knife flashing, efficient but unhurried. Pass the onions. She did, their hands brushing, brief, electric, a silent acknowledgement. Lily stirred the pot, standing on a stool, giggles erupting as bubbles popped. Conversation wove. Fund updates. Helped another family today. Visas secured. Company shifts. Promoted 3 from entry level. No biases. Richard listened more than spoke, chin propped on hand, absorbing Maria's tales of the center, Lily's dreams of becoming a helper like her aunt. Laughter punctuated bites. Lily mimicking Richard's old roar, puffed chest and furrowed brow. Get out, she growled playfully. He feigned shock, clutching heart. Mercy! Maria's eyes crinkled, joining the tease. Sounded just like you. Before. Before the alarm, the keys, the regret. Richard's chuckle rumbled genuine, no defensiveness. Lesson embedded. Plates cleared in tandem. Him washing, suds flying, her drying, towels snapping, Lily stacking, precarious towers wobbling. Teamwork, Lily declared, fist bump offered. They connected, knuckles meeting, unity sealed. The living room beckoned post-meal, fire crackling in the hearth, shadows dancing on walls lined with new photos. Elena smiling eternally, Maria and Lily arm in arm. Richard in the mix, softened edges. Board games emerged. Scrabble tonight, words building like bridges. Maria spelled listen, triple score. Your move. Richard pondered tiles, arranging command, then scrapped it, opting here instead. Lily clapped. Good one, Daddy. He grinned, pointing to the shift. Bedtime ritual, stairs climbed together, Lily between them, hands swinging. Nursery aglow with nightlight stars. Maria tucked blankets, humming the lullaby, notes weaving peace. Richard read from a book, voice low, animated at dragons and heroes who listen to win. Lily's eyes drooped, whispers fading. Love you, both. Kisses planted, door eased shut. Downstairs they lingered, wine poured, glasses clinking soft. Progress, Maria murmured, swirling her glass, firelight gilding her features. Richard nodded, staring into flames. Couldn't be without you. Silence stretched comfortably, no need to fill. He set his glass down, turning to her fully. I commanded everything, business, home. Though strength was orders barked, walls built. His hand gestured vaguely, encompassing the room. the life rebuilt. Maria met his gaze unflinching. And now? Now? Strength's in this. He tapped his ear, then heart. Listening to Lily's fears, your truths, even my own regrets. Words hung, waited. Maria's hand covered his briefly, warm, affirming. You learned. Fire popped, embers glowing. Outside, the city hummed distant, but here, quiet power reigned. The fund's first gala crystallized it. Ballroom packed, donors mingling, spotlight sweeping. Richard at the mic, voice resonant. We honor resilience. The workers, families, voices unheard. Applause swelled. Maria beside him, dressed elegant, no longer shadowed. He turned. My sister-in-law taught me, true power lies in listening, not commanding. The crowd hushed, then roared approval. Maria's eyes glistened. Pride, not tears. Lily in the front row, clapping wildly. Homeward, car gliding through night streets. Lily asleep in back, head on Maria's lap. Richard glanced over. Believe it now? She nodded. Living it. Mansion gates opened. They carried Lily in. Teamwork seamless. Upstairs tucked safe. Downstairs fire rekindled. Conversation meandered. Plans for tomorrow's center visit. Company expansions fair and just. Richard paused mid-sentence. Realization dawning afresh. Listening built this. To Elena's letter, Maria's warning, Lily's needs. No more blind commands. Ears open, heart engaged. Maria sensed it, squeezing his arm. Stronger together. He pulled her close. Hug familial. Deepening, perhaps. Fire died to coals. They retired, house settling peacefully. Dawn broke. A new day unfolding. Richard at breakfast, newspaper aside, tuning to Lily's chatter. Maria poured coffee, a smile shared. Lesson eternal. Strength not in ruling, but receiving. Words, pains, joys. The family thrived, ripple effects spreading. Fund aiding thousands, company model for equity, personal bonds unbreakable. In quiet moments, Richard reflected. The alarms blare, keys thrown, regrets bite, all forge this truth. Power redefined, listening to the key unlocking it all. In the end, this story reminds us that true power doesn't come from commanding others or jumping to conclusions. It's found in pausing to listen, understanding the unseen struggles of those around us, and embracing humility to right our wrongs. What about you? Have you ever faced a misunderstanding that led to a powerful lesson or witnessed an act of quiet heroism? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Thank you for watching. If this touched you, hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring tales. See you in the next video.